Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Tay and Joe Show. Hopefully, you've been listening in to the Black Love series, an ode to Valentine's Day, as we've been exploring Black love from successful individuals who are successful in their careers, but also seem to be finding a way to be successful in their relationships and family as well. I am Dr. Tay, known to you mostly because I'm a scientist and I'm here to spread diversity in STEM. But I sometimes get very creative and find a way to drag other people along, such as Mr. Joseph Ward.
Yeah, she drugged me in. She drugged me in.
An author, of course, podcast host, historian, intellectual, and a lot of different things. And now one of my favorite collaborators.
I mean, your number one favorite. Go ahead and say it. Let's say it live.
The president of my club. Look. But definitely happy to have Mr. Ward always signing on and saying he's okay with teaming up with me because I come up with some great ideas, but I don't always want to do it alone. And I thank him for being here on our last episode of the podcast.
Yeah. So, I appreciate you having me on this journey. It's February, so it's appropriate to talk about Black love and display Black love because, we got to make our ancestors proud on this month. So, and just, throughout the year. So happy to be here with you, talk about this Black love. So I'm going to shut my mouth so you can go ahead and introduce this lovely couple so we can get into it and learn something.
Yes. So I'm not going to take up too much time, but I would like to say thank you and to welcome the Harris couple, who is here to talk to us about anything and everything. They didn't tell us anything was off the record. So I'm going to weed in there because I am nosy and I want
She is.
I am nosy, yes. But I want everybody else to learn from a model that I think is healthy. And I've seen the success and stuff that you all have posted on, social media. And actually we talked about some of these things. So I definitely want other people to learn about you. So welcome to the Harris couple. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. No problem. Absolutely. So the first question we're going to kick off to get to know you a little bit more is let you just introduce yourself. Who are you and what do you do individually, like who you are as yourself? And then we'll get into the weeds of family and relationship later.
All right. I'll start. My name is Crystal Harris, formerly Crystal Spencer. I am a pharmacist and I went to Hampton University School of Pharmacy, graduated in 2012. And I'm currently a clinical pharmacist and I work for a home infusion company. So what we do is we mix up medications in our pharmacy and we deliver them to patients' homes. And the patients will start out their medication in the hospital and we finish out their course at home.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm Derrick Harris. I am the husband of this lovely lady sitting next to me. I'm a pharmacist as well. I work for a packaging pharmacy where we ship everything out, doing plenty of orders a week. I do love coming home to my family, spending time with them. Anybody at work will tell you that I'm out the door as soon as that clock strikes time to leave. So, I really love them and I got to make it home to spend every time that I can with them.
Right. Welcome. I've had the pleasure of working with pharmacists from FAMU over the last 10 years. Okay. So I have a respect for pharmacists and what you guys do. And especially if you have to deal with people on a regular basis, right. Definitely have a respect for what you do and just what all you went through to become a pharmacist. And I know you're passionate about what you're doing, so definitely eager to learn about that. So just hats off to you for being where you are and sticking in there because I know it could be difficult, but you were here and you made it. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
No problem.
So a little bit.
No, go ahead.
So a little bit more. He always lets me take it. Thank you, Joe. So a little bit more about your careers. I know both of you are pharmacists. So the first thing is a lot of people don't know that there's different types of pharmacists, right? And different things that pharmacists do. Only pharmacists I really think of like the ones in the hospital, but also like the ones at CVS.
Right.
So can you tell us more about what your like day-to-day job entails?
Yes. So we oftentimes don't think about the pharmacist in the light of being a doctor. But just like when you go to see your physician yearly for your annual checkup, The same way that your doctor or your medical doctor in the doctor's office will give you like your breakdown of whatever you may have going on with your body, your pharmacist will then break down what is going on with the drugs that your doctor or your physician has prescribed. So where the physician is the one who is diagnosing your body, we are the ones who are breaking down what the medication is going to do with that diagnosis. So that's the big difference with the physician, the medical doctor versus the pharmacy doctor. And aside from us being the druggists, we like to call ourselves like the legal drug dealers. You know? So that's kind of cool when you think about it like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, but now I do appreciate the breakdown because, like she said, there are different types of pharmacists. I'm used to working with pharmacists within the realm of HIV, and just last couple months having to call different pharmacies looking for different medicines and just all these things. I don't know how to say half these medicines, and I don't know what half these medicines do. I'm just trying to learn, but just like when somebody like me call and I'm trying to explain this medicine to you, and I'm trying to say it. I know about 2 or 3 of the 17 letters in there, and it's just so I'm just thinking. But so how do you handle like difficult situations and even difficult patients who are coming in trying to explain different things to you, like because first time somebody going through that could throw them off a bit, but how do you handle those different situations where you got these difficulties going on?
Right.
Well, that's pretty much the easy part,
Okay.
And then they have their questions. It's just the folks that come in and pretty much want you to cater to their every need. They want you to be the one to take care of their health care when you already have maybe 500 other patients coming in. I think they kind of forget that, you're helping the whole community and not just them.
Right.
So one thing that I try to do when I was working in the community, I'm not working in the community anymore, just because of the aspect of pharmacy in the community now is it's kind of gone a little bit downhill. But when I was working in the community, I would try to get people to take care of their own health care. I would try to make sure that in the directions on the prescription, I would try to make sure there was an indication there, because a lot of people would forget what the medication was for.
Right.
Yeah, so that's pretty much the easy part, is just getting people to take care of themselves.
Right.
The hard part is just really getting people to stop getting you to cater to their every need.
Okay. Understood. Understood. All right, so I have a follow-up question.
I may have a follow-up after your follow-up too.
Yeah, you might.
So, we want people to be their own advocates. It's about trying to teach them to advocate for themselves.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that's very important. I'm all about that, because you can't have like 500 children with you just every day trying to get you to do everything for you.
Yeah, and then if you cater to their every need, when they go to the doctor's office, they have no question. They don't know what to ask.
Right.
Exactly. Now I love that approach. So how did you guys get into pharmacy? Like, is that something that you want to do when you were young? Is there something that you gravitated toward when you were in college? Like, how did that journey start in pharmacy?
If I had to say, I think we were honestly probably both hooked by the same thing. So there was a time when pharmacists were getting these like huge incentives.
Okay.
We were hearing stories about pharmacists starting at some of the chain pharmacies, I just say chain, and they were getting bonuses of like $20,000 towards their student loans. They were getting BMWs for signing on. So it was like, ooh, that sounds real good starting out, Yeah, I got to be honest. Because I did know as a kid that I wanted to be a doctor. That might sound cliche, but I really did. And I went through a couple of different periods. Like at one point, I wanted to be a dentist. And then I said, I don't think I would want to always smell people's breath. And then I went through a period where I said, I might want to be a pediatrician. But then I became a big sister, and I was like, man, I don't know if I can handle kids. And so I went through these phases, and then came the introduction of pharmacists, and I realized they were doctors as well, but there was also this nice piece of them being treated really well when they were starting out. And the people that I came into contact with that introduced me to the Hampton School of Pharmacy, I went to church with a few of them. They were just kept giving me great stories as well, and really had my back support wise with getting into pharmacy school. So that's how I ended up going that route.
That's kind of similar to where I came from. I started working in the pharmacy at 16 as a technician, right before they changed the law to 18. After that, you had to be a pharmacy associate, because I kind of got grandfathered into that. But at first, I did want to be a cardiologist. That was the direction I was moving in. So me and my mom got together, and she said, well, I go up here to the pharmacy, and, I trust the pharmacist with everything. So I think we should try to get you a job there. And that's how that happened. And of course, over time, like she said, the incentives coming along with the job, a lot of pharmacists were preaching that to me, but that was at a time when community pharmacy was a lot better. So things that my son's dropping things over the balcony.
It's okay.
Real life, y'all, real life.
So things have changed over time, and we kind of hope things had gone a different direction. But if things didn't go the direction that they had, then we wouldn't have found each other. We wouldn't have these beautiful 2 young boys that we have. Wouldn't have this beautiful home that we live in. We just can't have any kind of regrets.
Yeah.
But I mean, pharmacy itself has been rewarding, and it will keep on being rewarding as long as we continue to count our blessings.
Right. Nice. That's actually something I've never heard of before, maybe because my background isn't in pharmacy, but I didn't know of the incentives. The only incentives I knew for anything was like military incentives, right? Like sign up to go into boot camp and stuff, and you're going to get this amount of money towards your education or whatever else. But I never heard about it for like, things that you would have to have an education for the actual position. So this is new for me. And Joe, you may know, but I don't know.
Nah, I didn't know. Look, my part of school, look, I didn't even know pharmacists growing up. I learned a lot of stuff about pharmacy and what college had to offer after I graduated. So, but it's definitely something that'll grab your attention. You're gonna give me $20,000. I definitely think about it now.
Right. It was real.
So are they no longer doing these, or did they just fade out over time, or what?
They did. They did. Okay. Because the profession actually did become saturated because of those incentives. So many people were flocking into that. Right. And at the time as well, the profession was, pharmacists were the #1 trusted healthcare provider at the time. Mm-hmm. And over time, I think because of the fact that some people went into the profession for some of the wrong reasons, they may not have their heart in it. And so the healthcare, our ranking has gone down, unfortunately. And hopefully we can work to get it back up, but it's phased down. So maybe we can try to see what we can do to bring it back. Right.
So just for clarification. Oh, go ahead.
I gotta get my toddler back in the bed.
That's all right.
Go ahead. So I guess just for clarification for anybody that doesn't know, including myself, a community pharmacist, what exactly makes a community pharmacist a community pharmacist? If that makes sense.
Yes, it does. It does, because community is considered any pharmacist that's working in like a retail setting or outpatient. Outpatient being you getting your medications outside of the hospital, or when you're walking out of the hospital door. Okay,
that clears up a lot. So my next question. Sorry, Joe.
No, go ahead.
My real question. So my next question, and Joe brought up something that took me into thinking like this. But as far as like, as pharmacists, what would be your advice that you would give to African Americans, people of color, you know, the minorities or anybody's coming to this, especially with the Black Love series? We're getting more out of this than just about love. You have to love yourself as well, right?
Absolutely.
So what advice would you provide to individuals, especially those who are Black, when it comes to, when you're seeing them, what are some of those number 1 or 2 or 3 things that you would hopefully get across in this podcast interview to those individuals?
Well, absolutely what Derrick mentioned a few minutes ago about counting your blessings, because although we've kind of seen some changes in our profession over time, it hasn't changed our feelings with regards to still wanting to help people, still wanting to help our community, and particularly wanting our Black community to do better, to be advocates for themselves, to just become healthier in general, to see things change with some of the statistics, just us being better for ourselves.
Right.
So absolutely counting your blessings and figuring out what it is that you want to do with your life, that you can make a difference for others as well. If you know that you have a passion, something that it really speaks to you, then pursue that, you know, and then figure out how to pay it forward once you have gotten to a place where you can do so.
Right. I mean, but you guys give so much, you do so much. Being as accessible as you are to the people, especially if you are a community pharmacist, so they can go into the local store and be able to talk to you. So you're teaching people things, explaining things to them, because you guys are some of the ones who have to take complex information and be able to break it down to a layman's level, even a 5th grade level sometimes to certain people. Because I know I work in HIV/AIDS, and I have to explain all these long little words and all these medicines, because we go to drug rep meetings, and sitting in those drug rep meetings, I'm doing my best to absorb the information that they're telling us, that they're teaching us, and then be able to give it back to the community and explain to them, well, this drug does this and this drug does this, but you know, trying to formulate it in your head. So how do I take this and just break it down? But if you can do that, I mean, you have a special skill set, and being able to be that as a pharmacist and in that position, because no matter what, you the doctor, you got a white coat on, you the doctor to the people. It don't matter what type of doctor, you're the doctor, but especially if you can empower the people through that position, that's the best part about it.
Right.
Cool. All right, so we want to get a little more nosy. All right, so you alluded to it earlier. So how did you two meet?
I'll tell the story. Because she acts like she doesn't remember. You know, I was the chaser.
Okay.
You know, she was playing coy. But it was my first year of pharmacy school. She was 2 years ahead of me. So she was president of SNAFA, which was the Student National Pharmaceutical Association. All right. There was about 3 organizations that came to our orientation. They were trying to get people to sign up for the different pharmaceutical associations. She walked in, and God pretty much just talked to me. He said, that's her right there. It sounds simple, but that's as simple as it was. You know, sometimes we make things out to be harder than what they should be. I had talked to a few girls at Hampton, but you know, they just didn't work out, and I got to a point where I was just like, I'm not going to force anything. And with her, I didn't have to force it. It just came to me. And so I think maybe the next day, or maybe that day, I can't remember if it was that same day, but we had a break, you know, for like lunch or something. Came back, and homegirl was sitting in my seat, signing people up. So just playing with, I was like, "Hey, you in my seat? We about to start class. You gotta come over here." And she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I was like, "No, it's okay. It's okay." But I don't even think she remembered me that day.
Oh.
But needless to say, I signed up for Snapper.
Right.
I got some community volunteer credit out of the ordeal. But I did my best to be at those events just so I could see her. And people in my class knew it. They were every time we had a break, her class was right across from my class, so we would have our breaks pretty much at the same time. And people knew I was going out there just to see her.
Aww.
Do your thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then we had kind of like this pharmacy dance. We call it a gala.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure how much of a gala it was. It was at a black school.
Calm down.
Right.
But we'll rock with the terminology of gala.
Nice. It was nice, y'all. We were dressed up to the T like prom. It was nice.
Yeah, we were dressed to the T going in. But I ended up asking her to go to the gala with me, and she ended up going with me, and things just kind of went uphill from there.
That's what's up.
Nice.
Yeah, he was real involved that year with Snapper, and then he wasn't involved anymore after we made it official. So it was like, dang, bro, for real, like he was really just.
She knew what
chasing.
It was.
Hey.
Oh my goodness.
Incentives.
Right.
We've been talking about that.
Let's be honest, right? Let's be honest.
Hey, it is what it is. Like, I know what I want, and that's what I'm here for.
If you know, you know.
So that was college. So how long were you together, and when did you get married?
We dated. This is how I like to break it down.
Okay.
We dated for a year. We were roommates for a year, and then we were engaged for a year.
I like that. So healthy.
Yeah, that was literally it. We've been married since 2014.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So on June 27th of this year, we will have been together for 10 years altogether.
Wow. Wow. So how y'all celebrating? Look, on Sunday.
Pandemic, man.
I know.
10 years is a big deal.
Yeah.
You have to see, because for marriage wise, this is lucky number 7. So, and I like to look at it like numbers wise like that too.
Right.
But
see
how.
I already took a week off.
Yeah, you got to be creative. So.
That's right.
We gotta see how it goes.
Right. So you've been together 10 years, married 7 years. You have children. You have your careers, and you still have each other. So how were you able to balance everything and still be able to maintain you guys' healthy relationship?
So I thought about this question because I gotta be real. I don't even know if there's really such thing as balancing. We often try to, like in a perfect world, you would want to be able to put your kids in the bed at a certain time. And they just go to sleep. And you want to eat your dinner every day at the same time. You want to eat your breakfast every day at the same time. And you want to get in your car and drive to work. And it's going to take you X number of minutes to get to work. And you're going to get there at X time.
Right.
But in real life, you are going to get in your car and you're going to be on the way to work. And there's going to be an accident. You're going to be in traffic. Or you're going to put your child to bed and he's going to get out the bed and start throwing stuff over the rail.
Yeah.
You think you're going to eat your breakfast at 7 and you're really not going to eat it till 8:30 because you got another child who is nursing. Like the real deal of balance, I can't even say anymore that exists. And I have admittedly undiagnosed OCD. So I like for things to be a certain way. I like to make my bed every day and not have it messed up. But the reality of that is going to be messed up because I'm going to have a little kid that's going to go jump on it. or a husband that's gonna go lay on it right after I made it. And it's just gonna have to be okay, because God isn't gonna give you more than you can handle. And at the end of the day, I'm still very happy for all that I have and the love that I have. So my bed can be messed up as long as I can go lay in it at the end of the night. And as long as I get 3 meals at some point in the day, I'm good, because there are people who don't get that, you know.
Right.
So I don't even know really if I can say balance exists, so long as you recognize the fact that if you have all that you need, you can make it. As long as you have love, you have just about all that you need. So
Yeah, love is really like the foundation. When you think about how a scale is made, you got 2 different sides. And, you know, they can go back and forth depending on how much weight you put on either side. So it's never going to be perfectly balanced. But as long as you have a foundation, that balance is always going to stand. And love is the foundation that everything is built upon. So, you know, you may have some kind of trials and tribulations on one side. You may have your highs on the other side. But as long as that foundation is there, nothing can break it.
You heard that, Natasha. Write them notes down.
Right. I did, all in my head. I was over here like, wow. Because the thing is, you never really hear people say, there's no balance. Like,
but it's real. It's a real answer.
Right. And I appreciate that, not just you being real, but the transparency, right? Because ultimately, if you have everything that you're thankful for, who cares that breakfast is at 8:30 instead of 7 a.m. and it's not made up and so on. Those are small things, right? Compared to the fact that your family is there, you have your family, they're healthy in one place, you know.
Right.
So many other things that you could think about. I've just never heard anybody say that out loud. So I'm thankful for those answers from the both of you. Definitely. But now we'll dive into some of these challenges, because y'all try to ruffle around them. And I'm going to right back.
The nose itself.
I am nosy, yes. So, and I get it. Thank you. No balance. So we know one of the issues is no balance, right? But from a Black love, Black couple that's successful and have the relationship, and you already acknowledge that balance is like out of the question most of the time. What other challenges do you face together, or even with your family, that you be willing to talk about? And how do you, combat or get past those challenges together?
I think the challenge for me is really not getting enough time to spend with her. Because I mean, honestly, that is one of my favorite things to do. Like, just for us to sit there and watch the show. Like, we don't even have to say any words. It can be unspoken, and I can just look over and see that she's laughing at something, and I might just remember that episode that she's laughing at and go back and play that episode again. It's just like The Office. Like, I know this one specific episode to just play. Like, if she's having a down day, like, I know to just go play this episode, and she'll forget all about it. It's not, she doesn't even have to see me. Like, she don't even care about me, but it's just an episode.
That's not entirely true. Edit that out. No,
that's funny.
That's real though. That's real, because just in adding on to the like no balance, it can sometimes feel like you don't have enough time for your spouse. Like in the same manner that you may not feel like you have enough time for a meal, or take a really, really long shower or something like that. In that same aspect, it kind of falls in to just trying to get in that extra time. But it's not impossible for it to happen. It just means you have to fight a little harder for it to come to fruition. Like, it may mean that I don't take as long of a shower so I can get the extra few minutes to spend with Derrick instead. Or if I know I'm ready to eat, but he may not be home yet, it may mean that I may push off my dinner to a little later so that I can have it with him if his shift is late. It's not impossible. It's just the challenge there then of having to figure out how to make getting time together work. And it's like the riddle of life. Now, when we get older, things start to become more challenging, and this is just one of them.
Right. So I have a follow-up question to that. So in figuring out, hey, we're not eating as much together, what made you realize that, hey, I could like just, pass it down, or like to wait until he gets here to eat? What kind of clicked in your head to make these decisions, or did it just come naturally? Or was it something that you seen from a different model or someone in somebody else's relationship?
It kind of came naturally. It was like you start to realize that, okay, I didn't get to see him this morning because he left really early. So let me try to make some time to see him when he gets home later, and vice versa. And then we had gotten to a point where Derrick was working a shift that was taking about 10 hours of the day. So I would take a nap before he got home so that I could wake up when he got home and we could talk before he went to bed. You start to realize if the person means something to you, you start to realize that you miss that person.
Right.
So like there are things that you miss, and it just does come. It started to come naturally.
Nice.
Okay. Now that's great, because I'm always saying we get so many negative images about relationships. I know for a while in my life, it was like all negativity, all like these ratchet relationships that you see on TV. And it's like, well, I know this is not like all Black people. Like, because my only thing I could think, well, Martin Luther King didn't do this. So that's the only thing I had at the time till I learned more. But it's amazing to see it. So within that friendship, how important is the friendship aspect of you guys' relationship, as opposed to just saying, okay, we're husband and wife? So where's that aspect in that?
I think friendship and love pretty much go hand in hand, honestly, because I mean, even outside of your relationship, you have your own friends, and you wouldn't be friends with somebody you didn't love. It could be like my best friend, who I call my brother. It could be some people at work, some people you just click with. If you don't have friendship, then I don't think you can really have a relationship, to be honest. And maybe she might view it a little bit differently, but I don't think that you can have a relationship without friendship. And that was one thing that really did it for us, because we started out as friends. Even though I was chasing her, I still had to put in work. I had to make her laugh. I had to be there if she needed somebody to talk to. I had to be there if maybe her night just didn't go the way she wanted it to. The friendship had to be there. We had to be texting buddies. She did try to pull that buddy card on me one time, but even with the buddy, man, that's still friendship. It can still grow from there. You have to start from somewhere. It has to grow.
Right. We did start out as friends first. We were just real cool, but even like adding on to what I mentioned a minute ago, if we didn't have a friendship, then I don't think it would mean anything to me about trying to get in that extra time. Like, I wouldn't be pressed for it. If we weren't friends, then him being gone long hours wouldn't faze me, and that's not the case. And I don't know if I could necessarily say that I'm friends with everybody, that we're not necessarily friends with everybody that we love, because sometimes you got that cousin, you love them, but y'all ain't besties. You know what I'm saying? Right. Or they might be hitting you up for money all the time or something like that. Something crazy. But with your significant other, if y'all are friends, then there would be things about that person that you wouldn't be able to go without. So I can say that the time for me, if we weren't friends, I wouldn't be fazed about not spending time with them.
Absolutely. And then what about communication? So we've heard in the other episodes of the Black Love series, that communication is so pivotal. And we've heard examples of how communication is used within everybody's relationship. Can you both talk on, communication, how pivotal it is to you, and, how you run your house, to how you are still able to go to your career and come back home? And then any tips regarding communication for those who want to be successful in their Black love as well?
I think communication with us really changed over time, because in the beginning, you're really just trying to impress somebody, so you don't really tell them everything. And whatever feelings you may have, you may not express it all. But nowadays, like, if I do something she doesn't like, she's gonna express it like that minute. That minute. That's a complete 360 from the way it used to be. Like, she might tell me like a whole year later.
He's telling you real. He's telling you the truth. This is not a lie.
Like, she jumped on me about something today.
Yep, I wasn't gonna say anything, but he brought it up. No, he's real. It does change, I think, over time, because there was a place in our relationship where we might kind of hold on to some things, and then later on we would bring it up, and it was like, yo, why didn't you tell me at the time? It doesn't even have the same impact now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of those things, if you look at it from a revolving standpoint, where your relationship really does revolve, or evolve, I should say. Like, it really does evolve, because you grow and learn, for real. There is no handbook for this. There are no rules. There are no laws out there. We are literally living day to day. And there was a point where I could wait until go the whole day fuming, and then I might say something like right before bed, or even go to bed with it. And one thing we have learned over time is, they tell you not to go to bed mad. That's a real thing. Like, you really should try to get it out of your system before you go to bed. Y'all can talk it out. And because we've gotten to a point where we're getting things off of our chest immediately, we feel better about it. And oftentimes, by the time we finish talking about it, we laughing, or the time has passed and you're not even as mad anymore, or you don't remember what you were mad about at all. That has really, I don't even know. That's how it's.
Once you get the weight off your chest, the weight isn't there to hold you down.
Yeah, right. That's just how we've grown in our relationship.
Okay, all right. So I have a question within that. So when you guys have disagreements, because it's almost as if the idea is, when you have a disagreement, you're supposed to just argue hard at each other. That's like the idea that we usually see. So can you guys kind of elaborate on ways that you found to communicate your frustration or your anger in a healthy manner to your partner?
Well,
I know in the beginning, like, if we had frustrations with each other, where you let it fester, like she was talking about, that would be the times when we would probably blow up and have a big argument, yelling at each other, and maybe not talk for like 2 days. But nowadays, when we get it off our chest, it really doesn't last that long. She got on me earlier about something I said. Like, she said I got short with her, and I didn't really mean it, but the past couple of days it's been a little different for me, and I apologize for it. I knew I was wrong, and that's the other thing too. You gotta accept when you're wrong. A lot of people don't try to accept when they're wrong. You really have to accept when you're wrong. So I mean, she was right for getting on me, and when she got on me, they gave us time to just, I guess, think about it, get over it. Came home, hug, kiss, get the kids to bed, And once we finish here, we probably just gonna watch a show or something. And then we got Valentine's dinner tomorrow. Back to loving. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, he took a lot of the words right out of my mouth, because I was just thinking. I think it might even be like when a relationship is kind of immature. Your immediate response to somebody attacking you or you feeling attacked is to lash back out.
Mm-hmm.
But you may just need to take a moment and breathe, kind of like allow yourself to just think about whatever it was that you were disagreeing about, try to see it from the other person's standpoint. Devil's advocate almost, just look at it from both sides. If you know you were right, then you have but you talk about it. It doesn't mean that you yell at each other. You just say what the issue was and you talk about it. It doesn't have to be a yelling match or a fight all the time.
Right. So we've also heard a lot about people utilizing different resources to assist them with their marriage or their relationship. Do you both use any like outside counseling, advice from friends, family? What do you use if you like really just can't figure it out together or on your own, how to deal with conflict or improve something in your relationship?
Well, one thing my godmother told me is to not let anybody else in your relationship work it out yourselves. So I took that to heart. Because like I listened to her, I listened to my grandma, they best friends. That's how she became my godmother. So I don't tell anybody about our relationship. I don't tell my mom, I don't tell my dad, I don't tell my grandma. The only person I talk to is God and her. That's it. I don't tell anybody else, because if you let other people in your relationship, then they start to build like this wall against your partner, and that can be detrimental to your relationship as well. Because when you have two families coming together, it's not just the two, it's the many, and you have to build a village, especially when you got two kids. And if you got people, going against your partner, then that's no way to keep a village together.
That's true.
And I had gotten to a point, for almost half my life, I've been journaling. So I got to a point where I starting out my journal as Dear God. And almost, I got it from Color Purple. That's when I started doing it. When I read the book, I started on my journal entries as Dear God, and then I go from there. Admittedly, I don't talk to people about our problems, but I do have some like sister cousins that I vent to about like not issues with me and Derrick, but like things about our kids. Like we'll joke about potty training and stuff like that. Or girl, is my kid getting in the pool today considered a bath? Like stuff like that. we get to where we started like joking about that type of stuff, because we're all at that point in our lives together. So I have some sister cousins and some girlfriends that will joke about stuff like that. And it's good to, I think, be able to talk to other women about things going on with your family, just so that you're not the only one going through the craze,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But now that's good, because I was going to follow up with how do you keep people out of your business, but you answered it, because I'm not saying I'm like the greatest thing about relationships. But I have learned some things over the years, and I know you got to keep people out your business. But in my mind, and it's just something I came up with, somebody else probably did, but I believe in setting your own rules, setting your own foundation, your own boundaries for your relationship, not necessarily looking at other relationships or letting somebody else tell you, hey, you all are supposed to be doing this. No, you all are supposed to be doing what's best for you all.
Right.
So how were you able to like stay steadfast with that? Because I know sometimes it could be people who they really have the best intentions, but they may just always poking at the wrong time. So how do you not allow that to come in? Just stay steadfast with what you guys have built for yourself.
Right.
The devil is real. Because he will come in so many forms, it's not even funny. And it will be in the form of like the nosy neighbor type thing. But you have to be strong in being an advocate for your relationship, knowing what to say and what not to say. Because like Derrick mentioned earlier, if we have any issues, we can talk amongst ourselves about them, or we can pray about them. That needs to be the outlet. If you get to the point where you start telling people things, then all they're going to hold on to is the bad. They will not see the good, and it's a stain forever. So you really have to be strong in, okay, I shouldn't share this, and hold on to that. That's how it works for me personally. I have to be like, I can't share that.
For me, it should tell you I'm a little more a-holy than the most, so I can just tell people no, and then they already know.
That's good.
Right.
That's that. Why not? Somebody got to do it. So
don't keep asking me. You know, I'm not talking to you about my wife. Stop asking.
Right.
Yeah, and
nice.
it's a respect factor as well.
Yeah. If somebody really respects your relationship too, they're not gonna keep poking.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Once you establish that, it's like at a certain point that they already know, okay, we can't penetrate this wall here. Obviously, he's not gonna tell me about her, she's not gonna tell me about him. So let's just talk about the sport today or something.
Yeah.
Versus me trying to get in their business again.
Yes. Yeah.
But I'm gonna stay in y'all business for one more question.
Okay.
So our last question to hopefully leave off on, some type of note to provide a little bit more guidance to those newer couple. You got another question, don't you, Joe?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Never mind.
I'm in this. I'm sorry. It's a good conversation.
Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. So, your backgrounds growing up, what type of examples of relationships were you able to see growing up, and how did that affect you guys when you were building your relationship and building your family?
I will say we were both fortunate enough to live in a household with our mom and our dad, and our mom and our dad are both married to each other. We both middle class families. Both of us come from sets of parents who are pretty successful. So we came out okay, I think, ourselves, and having those good role models right in front of us.
Okay.
They had good role models. They set the example, and both of us are the oldest siblings, and we both had to take care of our younger siblings too. Hers are younger. I think it's like 7 years in between each of them. So she has one sister that just graduated college, and another one that's she a junior in high school, and then I have a sister. She's 5 years younger than me. She lives in Florida now, but I used to have to take her to school, take her to cheerleading practice, and all this other stuff. Like when I got my first car, it wasn't even really my car. It was our car.
Yeah.
So I think with us both having to help take care of our younger siblings, that kind of, I guess, threw a different mindset in both of us on how to think about life maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But we did have good examples from our parents and our grandparents. We had our grandparents for a long time. Both of us had they lived pretty long lives. I had my great grandparents for a while because my family lineage, got it together younger.
Good.
Yeah, they started early on some stuff. Yeah, she had larger families, and they had more kids, so there was more time spread in between. Yeah. But we still had that time and wisdom there ahead of us that can really guide us on how we should go.
Yeah, and then I think for both of us too, if there was something about our parents' relationship, admittedly, that we know we didn't like, we try to steer away from that.
Gotcha.
There are some things that both of us, I think, have seen our own parents do. We like, can't do it.
Right. No, I'm with you on that.
So,
no, and just saying and steadfast and trying not to do those things.
Right.
Absolutely. But with that, the flip side of that is you've seen, you both said that you have your parents in your life and they were both together and so on. So what's one of that, if you both can give me just one answer from your parents, what is that number one thing that you learned from them that you're definitely taking into your relationship or already have taken into your relationship because it's such a positive thing or it helps with strengthening you both together?
Building a house and a home together and putting God first. Yeah, we had a sign. We had a sign right in the foyer of our house. It says, "As for me and my household, God, we will always put God first." And I don't remember a lot of things from my childhood, like talking about it.
That's just because of bad memory, not because it was a bad childhood.
No, it wasn't bad. I just have a terrible memory. I think I have this issue where things just don't spark in my brain, like talking about it. But she sparked in my brain, so that's all that matters.
There you go.
Smooth.
But for that sign to stick out to me, and it's still there to this day. I just kind of take that with me.
Gotcha. All right.
Yes.
Black love. I'll tell you, man, look, this Black Love series, it's been a journey and it's been great because I know for me, I didn't grow up seeing a lot of healthy relationships. I don't have one memory of my parents actually being together. They divorced when I was like 5. So I made it a point. I was intentional about learning what real love and real healthy relationships look like with Black people. So I put myself around like men who actually like their wives, who actually like going home and they like their kids rather than people who were just married. Because I saw that so many times. So this series has been great for me personally, just being able to learn more about what real, true Black love and real marriage is, and forget all the Disney Channel stuff and the fluff. It's reality, and I definitely appreciate you all for helping me learn more and being a part of this series with us.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Thank you for having us. We really, really appreciate it, and Letitia for Dr. Tay for reaching out. That was really cool to have known that somebody was looking, somebody saw us.
Cool.
Absolutely. We're hoping this is going to kickstart, something that will probably continue if Joe still signed on.
We're here.
For years to come, because ultimately, like I said at the beginning, this is a huge way for us to hopefully impact the community by providing models or examples of Black love and successful love, but not having to eliminate yourself, still working on yourself, but also finding healthy ways to work on your relationship and build your, like you said, your house, your home, and keeping God first. So all those elements in all these different relationships and having great examples, one of which is the both of you, the Harris couple, providing that versus a lot of the things that we easily get on TV and the radio, and it clouds our judgment at times, right? It also becomes a trend at times to watch these things and hopefully catch up and keep the Joneses versus figuring out what it means to just be a Harris. So we definitely appreciate that and all the perspectives and your transparency and, letting it all out, and even just saying, hey, let me go get my son real quick. This is real life, this back, and we definitely appreciate you being here for that. So we're hoping that you all out there are learning something, because we
better learn.
Right.
And a reminder, they got something called an algorithm. And if you like, comment, and subscribe and share and tell all your friends about it, because you want to spread Black love. More people can see this and more people can be exposed to this lovely couple and all the lovely couples that we had, and spread some more Black love February and beyond. So let's do our job.
Absolutely. And last but not least, I'm going to say happy Valentine's Day to you.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day to you all as well. Thank you so much for thinking about us. And we love and just greatly appreciate your taking the time to put emphasis on love in general.
Absolutely. So we're not going to hold you up too much longer.
Right.
In the background, they're like, hold on, your time is off. Your time is up. Get us back. Real life. So thank you all for tuning into the Tay and Joe Show, where we have brought you the Black Love series, an ode to Valentine's Day. And we'll see you next time on the next creative thing we come up with. And I'm dragging along.
We'll be back soon. See you later.
Bye.